Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, I think you can agree with me that the details behind this so-called egg are mind-bending, not just for the incredible claims surrounding it, but for what it might mean if even part of it is true. In this video, we will examine the key stories tied to the egg, we'll crack open the recent claims, and explore some possible cosmic connections. To begin, let's look at one of the most talked about accounts involving an egg-shaped object. I'm talking about Jacob Barber's interview with NewsNation, of course. If you haven't seen the whole thing, please check it out. I'm going to be recapping just a part of it. But his story goes deep into UAP retrieval operations, secretive government programs, and the strange physical and emotional effects that are tied to some of these encounters. Barber's testimony centered on the idea that this artifact wasn't just a passive object, but part of an advanced psionic system, a technology that, get this, could be controlled through consciousness. For those unfamiliar, psionics involves the use of human thought, intuition, or consciousness to operate systems, communicate with crafts, or even interact with entities. While it might sound like something pulled from the pages of science fiction, Barber described psionics as a cornerstone of advanced UAP technology. He explained that this psionic bond between the operator and craft isn't without risks, and something called link loss can occur, which is a disruption that severs the bond between the operator and system. When that connection is lost, the consequences can be far-reaching, from shutting down the craft entirely to causing serious cognitive harm to the operator. Barber detailed cases where operators who stayed connected too long, especially during high-energy events, suffered hallucinations, mental fractures, and even an eerie sense that part of their consciousness remained inside the craft, lingering long after the link was severed. Barber also recounted a surreal mission to retrieve the egg. His team was briefed only on a need-to-know basis, with most of the details about the object withheld until they were nearing the site. He described a heavy, almost electric pressure in his chest as the aircraft approached the location. Essentially, he described it as not being painful, but it was unsettling, like the egg was making its presence known before he even got there. When Barber and his team encountered the artifact, they saw something that surprised them all: a seamless, metallic object about the size of an SUV. Its surface was so smooth, it seemed almost liquid under certain lighting. There were no visible seams, no openings, no markings, nothing to hint at its origin. What truly set the experience apart wasn't just the egg's appearance, but it was the way it made Barber feel. It felt like it was reaching out to me, he said. He was visibly emotional during the interview when talking about this. He continued to say, not with words, but with emotions. It was like a mother's embrace, welcoming me home. This sense of connection left Barber disorientated and deeply moved. It was the most profound moment of my life, he admitted. For a moment, I wasn't sure if I was in control of myself or if the egg was guiding me. The retrieval process was anything but ordinary, as you can imagine. They worked to secure the egg, and when doing so, Barber described strange physical sensations like dizziness, nausea, and a heavy pressure in his head. But even more unsettling were the emotional effects. I felt this overwhelming surge of unconditional love, he said. It was as if the egg wanted to reassure me, to let me know it meant no harm. I've never felt anything like it before or since. During the return flight, he noted the aircraft experienced unexplained malfunctions, flickering lights, disrupted instruments, and power surges that seemed to defy logic. Barber and his team began noticing other effects as well. Some reported strange dreams, one team member claimed to hear faint melodic voices, and other symptoms ranged from nausea and extreme fatigue to more alarming conditions like hair and skin loss. Barber unfortunately developed an autoimmune disorder shortly after the mission. which he believed was the result of radiation exposure from the egg. Reflecting on these effects, Barber drew parallels to the experiences of John Burroughs, a serviceman involved in the 1980 Rendlesham Forest incident, who also suffered long-term health effects after exposure to a UAP. Dr. Gary Nolan has examined some individuals in similar UAP encounters and suggests that the phenomena's energy or material composition might have biological effects far beyond anything modern science can currently explain. Now, if Jake Barber's account on NewsNation were the sole story of an egg-shaped artifact, it would already be compelling enough to challenge everything we believe about technology, consciousness, and humanity's place in the universe. Yet, around the same time, another intriguing narrative has surfaced, this one involving an egg discovered in Antarctica, shared through an anonymous 4chan thread. Although 4chan is not typically regarded as a reliable source, it does serve as a unique platform where whistleblowers can share information with a degree of anonymity. This second account, while warranting a healthy dose of skepticism, presented details that both aligned with and deviated from Barber's testimony, making it difficult to dismiss outright. The leaker claimed to have participated in a UAP retrieval mission in Antarctica in 2022. They shared a grainy video and photos allegedly showing an egg-shaped artifact discovered in a cave alongside a pod containing a humanoid entity. The artifact was described as being made of an unknown metal, seamless and unmarked, with a smooth surface that emitted almost an otherworldly aura. These details closely matched Barber's description of the egg, suggesting a possible connection. The entity was described as a tall, humanoid figure with white skin, long blonde hair, and piercing blue eyes. Its presence was said to feel almost divine. According to the leaker, the pod used advanced preservation technology to keep the being in pristine condition for hundreds of years, 700 years in fact. When revived, the entity reportedly communicated in English and German, but also could use telepathy to share information about its mission and humanity's origins. It claimed to be part of a race of space missionaries who had intervened in human development to oppose a parasitic species that created humanity to exploit Earth's resources. This being, it said, was on the side of the good guys, but it warned that humanity was on a destructive path that could lead to a reset. Among the most striking details was the artifact's effect on the environment. The leaker reported electromagnetic anomalies before the team even reached the site, with malfunctioning instruments and that faint melodic tone again, emanating from the artifact itself. The retrieval required specialized equipment as the artifact reportedly generated its own gravitational bubble, rendering traditional lifting gear useless. Magnetic containment devices were used instead. They were designed to stabilize and transport the object without disrupting its energy field. Proximity to the artifact also affected the retrieval team. Members described vivid, shared dreams of stars, celestial events, and a humanoid figure communicating through gestures. While skeptics say these experiences could be psychological side effects of stress, the leaker suggested they might point to some form of cognitive resonance between the artifact and human consciousness. Another intriguing claim was the role of the Antarctic cave itself. Its unique mineral composition allegedly provided a natural shielding effect that maintained the artifact's dormant state. This detail raises a fascinating question. If we search out similar sites, will we find more eggs? Elaborating on the being's presence, it was described as having proportions almost too perfect. Its eyes reportedly were capable of changing color with the light. It was said to avoid direct eye contact with humans, as if shielding them from some overwhelming effect. The entity spoke of humanity's cycles of rises and falls, revealing his role and race as merely observers and facilitators of progress, rather than direct mediators. This revelation painted a complex picture of their relationship with humanity, neither entirely benevolent, but definitely not parasitic. Lastly, he spoke of an international council that oversees the discovery and suppression of such artifacts, ensuring that information with the potential to disrupt global stability and global power remains hidden. But when considered alongside Jake Barber's account, the 4chan thread raises some fascinating questions. Both stories describe a seamless, unmarked egg-shaped artifact and highlights its psionic connection to consciousness. The timing and overlap between the two narratives are difficult to dismiss outright, even if I remain more skeptical about the 4chan claim. Let me know what you think. Whether these accounts are true, exaggerated, or something in between, they remind us how little we truly understand about the world and what could lie hidden beneath its surface. The idea of an egg as a source of profound significance isn't confined to modern UAP accounts. The cosmic egg is a recurring motif in mythology and cultural traditions worldwide. In many cultures, the cosmic egg serves as the ultimate symbol of creation, containing the raw essence of the universe itself. When it hatches, it gives birth to the cosmos, dividing into elements like the heavens and earth, or even bringing forth the first beings. This ancient theme feels connected to our modern accounts, from Jake Barber's artifact retrieval to the 4chan leaker's descriptions. Whether this is a coincidence, cultural influence, or evidence of something deeper, it's a fascinating thread to unravel. In Hindu cosmology, for example, the golden egg is described as the origin of the universe. This primordial egg contained all of creation, splitting into two halves to form the heavens and the earth. Similarly, in Chinese mythology, the legend of Pangu tells of a great egg that held the balance of yin and yang. When it finally broke apart, Pangu emerged and used its components to shape the world. In Greek mythology, the Orphic egg offers another parallel, said to have been laid by Kronos, the god of time, and fertilized by ether. It hatched Phanes, the first god who brought light and order to chaos. This idea of something extraordinary emerging from an egg-shaped object resonates with modern descriptions of advanced technology or even non-human intelligences found in many UAP accounts. The resemblance between these mythological eggs and the artifact described in UAP encounters is difficult to ignore. Both involve an encapsulated potential for transformation and a bridge between the known and unknown. The psionic connection in Jake Barber's account and the leaker's claim of beings preserved in an egg echo the kinds of interactions humanity has imagined with higher powers or gods throughout history. It makes me wonder, could the reoccurring symbolism of the cosmic egg in mythology reflect an ancient phenomenon that modern science is only now beginning to explore? Are these myths based on real experiences? It's fascinating to consider whether these ancient stories are more than metaphors, hinting at shared knowledge of something that is about to make itself known. Usually I try not to read too much into coincidences, but an egg, a shape so unique and symbolic, seems almost too purposeful to ignore. This is a story worth exploring further as new information continues to come to light. Let me know if you think we are witnessing the reemergence of a modern-day cosmic egg story. To me, the most intriguing part of these claims is the psionic or consciousness connection. This could radically shift the way we view not just consciousness, but ourselves. The idea that an artifact could interact with human thought, could respond to emotion, or even form a bond, forces us to rethink the boundaries between life, machine, and mind. This isn't just advanced engineering. It's something fundamentally different, something that hints at a connection between the physical and the intangible that we've only begun to grasp. It also compels us to take seriously the possibility that there may be another civilization or species, one far older and more advanced, right here on Earth, coexisting with us in ways we've obviously yet to fully crack open. The more we uncover, the clearer it becomes that we're standing on the edge of something that may alter our course. Maybe it's time we started paying closer attention and keep an open yet skeptical mind. I mean, what if the mysteries we seek are not beyond the stars, but right here on Earth, waiting for us to uncover them? The journey into the unknown continues, and who knows what we'll find as we peel back its layers.